Hello everybody, welcome to episode 9 of Hondos HoloNet. My name is Vincent, I'm your host, and let's begin. So, it's almost game time. Tomorrow I'm going to the early Amazon Prime premiere, Prime showing of Superman. Now, if you know me, this is my most anticipated movie probably ever. I wasn't as excited for Endgame, wasn't as excited for Infinity War, wasn't as excited for any of the new Star Wars movies, and Star Wars is my favorite. Wasn't as excited for Indiana Jones 5, wasn't as excited for No Way Home, or this is probably the movie I'm most excited for ever. So, there's a lot of things going through my head. Today, gonna be shorter, probably gonna go over just a few things, 4 or 5 things that I think is gonna happen, in the movies, things that I think, how the future's going to be, maybe, but mostly just predictions I have for the movie that way. Tomorrow when I do my review, tomorrow night it'll be late, so I might release it Wednesday, but tomorrow when I do my review, I'll be able to actually, see what I got right and fully go into it. Okay, so first off, Superman is tied with one as my favorite DC superhero, favorite superhero ever. I just actually watched Superman Returns, which was the last Superman movie I needed to watch, and it was alright. It wasn't anything great. It wasn't my favorite, but Superman 1 is my favorite comic book movie ever. Chris Reeves is my favorite Superman, followed by Smallville. Tom Welling, Tyler Hoechlin, I think is fantastic. I think everybody who's played Superman has done decently well, if not great, at their parts. Regardless how I feel about Man of Steel and the movie itself, I think Henry Cavill did really good as Superman. And I mean, he does look like Superman. It just wasn't the right Superman in my field. But again, I think Henry Cavill played the part really well. But we got this new one coming out that will be the future of the DCU. We got Creature Commandos, Peacemaker, Wonder Woman, Batman, Green Lantern, Supergirl, all coming in the next few years, and this is really the kickoff start. So, just one thing that I think could happen. I think we're going to have more than the superheroes that were marketed. We know we're going to have Guy Gardner, we know we're going to have Mr. Terrific, and we know we're going to have Hawkgirl, and Metamorpho, sorry, I forgot about him, alongside of Superman. We know Krypto's going to be around. We know Supergirl's going to be around. Those are the other heroes besides Superman that we know that, hey, they're definitely in the movie. It's been confirmed. We know it. We see it, So, on top of that, I think we could see somebody like Blue Beetle. I think we could possibly see a maybe Peacemaker reference. Not really see John Cena, but we could see a Peacemaker reference. We can see Blue Beetle, Peacemaker. We might see one of the, or hear again reference Creature Commandos, but characters. This is an already established universe. James Gunn said that for 300 years superheroes have been around. So I think we could see, hey, more superheroes or hear about more superheroes, and I think that just because it's been marketed, this Justice Gang, which they're calling them, and Metamorpho, that we're not going to end there. And I have an even bigger one that I will save for later, but I think that we are well into this universe enough for them to mention a lot more heroes. Something else. I think, although Superman, you don't have to watch Superman to go to Supergirl and understand Supergirl, but I do think it will pave the way right into Supergirl and Lanterns with Guy Gardner. I think that both of these characters will be important. Obviously, Supergirl will be important to the Supergirl movie, but Guy Gardner is definitely going to be important for the Lantern show. And I think we don't have enough information about Lanterns or Supergirl really yet to fully know, but both of their characters are going to be important to their respective projects. And I think that we're really going to see not too much of Supergirl, but the bit that we do see of Supergirl is going to be structural for the future of her character. Same with, we're going to see Superman, we're going to see Superman's Earth parents. Bradley Cooper, we found out, is Jor-El, which is something that most people knew. I would have personally liked it to be saved for the movie. But, okay. We have probably my big one. So really, so my biggest one is we're going to see Batman. I believe that they already have Batman casted. I believe that they already are in talks with the Wonder Woman, or at least have an idea of who they want for Wonder Woman. So I think Batman might show up. I don't know how. I don't know where. Maybe it's just Bruce Wayne. I don't know how they'd fit it in. I could be 100% wrong, and I probably am. But I think that Batman will show up at some point and be like, hey, Clark Kent or Superman or whatever, I'm Bruce Wayne or I'm Batman or whatever it is, really. But depending on who he is or what form, Bruce Wayne or Batman, I believe that he'll show up in some way, shape, or form. I believe that it will also, there is an end credit scene, so that could be Batman. I believe we could also see into the greater Gods and Monsters story, and maybe not introduce the Thanos-like villain if they're not really going that type of route, but let's say the Thanos type villain, not introduce the Thanos type villain, but introduce, maybe like a Phase 1 type mini villain, like in Avengers, like Loki was to the Avengers, maybe something like that. I don't know, because it all depends on the projects that are coming up after. But there's a lot, because I haven't really looked into all the trailers. I love the music. I love the first 2 trailers, the teaser and the first official trailer. Other than that, I kind of backed away and didn't really watch much because I did not want to give too much away. And I've been avoiding a lot of the pictures, a lot of the new things coming out. I've been following up with the news, and I've been, just the first 2 trailers. I want to go in with an open mind, so I really don't have too many predictions as of now, just like I said, 4 or 5. But for the movie itself, very excited for Lois and Jimmy and Perry White and all the Daily Planet big characters in the beginning of Superman in the comics in the first few movies. Was Jimmy, was Lois, especially Lois, but Jimmy and Perry and Steve Lombard. So, and they feature those characters in the My Adventures with Superman cartoon. So I'm definitely excited to see, all of those characters in live action and see what they're really like in a modern day take on Superman. Yeah, so there's a lot to look forward to in this Superman movie. Like I said, the soundtrack is one of the things. I'm very, very excited. As of recent, I wasn't excited at the beginning. I mean, it's just Superman, so Superman. I'm very excited to see this take on Clark Kent. I believe the most important part of the Superman character and making sure the Superman character is good is getting this Clark Kent character good. And I mean, again, I have all the faith in James Gunn with any project he does, but really needs to nail Clark Kent, kind of like how Brendan Routh and how Chris Reeve did handle that character, because that's the best version of Clark Kent. From the 2 trailers, from the first trailer, from the teaser trailer, I believe that they captured that essence. They captured this clumsy, not funny, but more funny Clark, and I believe that it's going to be really... I'm excited for all of the side characters. So, went over Daily Planet, but now the Justice Gang. I'm a big Green Lantern fan. Green Lantern is, I think, like I said in the video, my DC video, 3rd favorite superhero, at least DC, followed by Flash, Superman. Yeah, so I love Green Lantern. Guy Gardner is not my favorite Green Lantern, but I don't think, besides comics and besides cartoons, we have never seen a real Guy Gardner well done. I think Nathan Fillion was the best choice for the role. I think his attitude, which I think just not his attitude, but the way he looks and his demeanor as from the trailers just is so well, it fits. Mr. Terrific. I cannot pronounce his last name. So Edie, the guy who plays him, also looks like Mr. Terrific. Looks perfect. Reminds me of the Arrow Mr. Terrific, parts of the Arrow Mr. Terrific, and parts from the cartoon Mr. Terrific put together and brought into one, and I'm really looking forward to that. Hawkgirl, Isabella Merced, is just fantastic in everything I've seen her in. She's funny, she looks funny, and in the Peacemaker Season 2 trailer, she looks funny. So really, with her, I am just excited to see the dynamic between the three of them, and I'm real excited to see how she plays the Hawkgirl character, because it definitely looks like a different take from the Legends of Tomorrow Hawkgirl, and even the Justice League cartoon Hawkgirl. A character that I'm excited for, because I know really only base level stuff on him, is Metamorpho. I do not know much about Metamorpho. I'm interested in the character. Since I've learned about him a few years ago, I've always have been interested in him. But it's hard to find like comics and things on him unless you're doing real deep searches, and I don't have the time to do that besides when I'm working on my Animal Man stuff, but that's besides the point. I really don't know enough about Metamorpho that I want to. Anthony Carrigan is fantastic. Again, cast is absolutely stacked. Loved Anthony Carrigan in Gotham, in Barry, in the few episodes of The Flash he was in, which is where I was introduced to him. So I'm absolutely loving this idea of Metamorpho and how he's going to play a role. But yeah, Justice Gang looks awesome. The Maxwell Lord, we saw him in the Peacemaker trailer, so I am excited for that. Rick Flag Senior also looks real interesting, but he was my favorite part of Creature Commando, so either way I'll be excited for him. And I'm blanking on his name, but the guy who Frank Grillo just looks awesome as Rick Flag, and he did real good in Creature Commandos. Alright, now the villain side. Lex Luthor is a great villain. I mean, he's always going to be the Superman villain. And Nicholas Hoult, I didn't know, when I was fan casting for Superman, before even James Gunn was taking over for DC, I had this idea of who could play Superman and Batman and all these different characters. So Nicholas Hoult was my Superman. Excuse me. I love the idea of Nicholas Hoult as Beast when in First Class, which was my favorite X-Men movie. I loved all of that, so I was like, yeah, Nicholas Hoult would be a great Superman. So then when they announced him as Lex Luthor, I was kind of iffy about it. I didn't know how much I would actually enjoy it. And then once I saw the picture of his head shaven, it was like him, David Corenswet, and Rachel Brosnahan. Once I saw that picture, I knew he was going to be perfect. And everything I've seen so far, clips of him, just 2 hours ago, I was listening to the Superman channel on Instagram, and I was listening to it, and it was an audio recording of Lex Luthor and some senators and secretaries from the movie universe, and you could just tell who was Lex and like the confidence he sounds. And the best scene so far, and I know this has been going wild, but the best scene of Lex from that trailer is when he takes off his glasses entering the Fortress of Solitude, and the things whiz past him and he does not blink, he does not move, he just keeps walking. I think he's going to do fantastic. Other villains, the Engineer, don't know anything about her. I will be 100% honest. I have my DC character encyclopedia that I've read a little bit. I still don't know much about her, so I can't wait to learn about her through this movie, but she looks badass. And Ultraman, I'm excited to see who's under the mask. I'm leaning towards David Corenswet. It kind of just makes sense with how I imagine this multiverse going and how Peacemaker sets up the multiverse with the two different John Cenas. I imagine it just being David Corenswet again, which is the safe and probably best choice. I know people are like, oh, well, it could be Henry Cavill, which I don't think that Henry Cavill is going to be in this movie. But I'm very excited to see who it is. David Corenswet is my guess. If I had to just pull a random actor who it could be, Oh wow, I don't know. I really don't know. I just think David Cornswet is the, not Brandon Routh, maybe Tyler Hoechlin, as if anybody, Tyler Hoechlin, but I really don't think so. But anyways, yeah, I think that David Cornswet will be Superman throughout the multiverse, and then if they ever really explore like the Crisis on Infinite Earth story, like the Arrowverse did, then you bring back other actors like Ezra Miller came in, John Wesley Shipp came in. So yeah, definitely I think it'll be David Cornswet, but I'm excited to see all the fight scenes between the two of them. I'm excited to see who it actually is playing Ultraman, if we find out, which I do think we will. I'm super excited for Crypto. That's just another character that's like, okay, he reminds me so much of my dog, just the way he acts, the way he... everything. Just, so Crypto is like, I'm super excited for. Like I said, I was lucky enough to get this Amazon Prime showing, which... when I woke up the morning that the tickets were going on sale, I'm in Eastern time. They were selling at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So I was like, oh, I'm good. I have time. I'm able to wait. I woke up super early. I was able to just have time to relax. And I went to go on Instagram, and everyone was like, got my tickets to the Amazon Prime showing. So I quickly raced. I got tickets for some of the last two tickets in the theater. Perfect seats all the way in the back, a little to the left. I'm a back middle guy, but, still great seats. I'm going to an AMC, so I'm going to look into getting their bucket, the AMC Daily Planet bucket. The marketing for this movie was just amazing. I mean, all over the world, James Gunn took the movie on tour. Took it to Indonesia, took it to the Philippines, to India, to London. And in each country, there was the clips on Instagram, the Superman logo, the Eiffel Tower, Superman in, I can't think of the name of the building, but the tallest building in London, the Superman statue, an 11-foot statue of Superman. I mean, the marketing for this is crazy, unlike nothing I've ever seen before. But really, keep it shorter. It's just, it's kind of inspiring to just see how much a single movie can do and how many lives a single movie is impacting. There are plenty of people all over social media. One person that comes to mind, for me at least, when I think of somebody who's just is the Daily Kryptonian. He's big influencer, content creator on Instagram, and I mean, he's been really like the head of the pack the whole time, just leading this movie, and leading the hype for this movie. But really, it's impacted so many people, and I cannot wait. So yeah, it's coming tomorrow. I've waited years for this movie since the announcement, but I cannot wait. Tonight, really, yeah, I'll be watching. This video will be out after, it's going on, or after it's finished recording, but tonight is the world premiere, and they're doing the live stream on YouTube. I will be watching just to see what's up, see what's going on, see how many people turn up, because it just came out. This movie needs, Variety says this movie needs 500 million to break even. It's probably going to do that. And the best thing about it is it doesn't have to be a $1 billion film to be successful. It just needs to be a good movie. It needs to do good money wise. And do I think it'll pass $1 billion? Most likely, yes. But I can't see this movie going wrong. So yeah, really with that, I covered all the main things. I'll probably do a quick YouTube short tomorrow, just talking about what right outside of the theater, just talking about what I think, what I thought, and then tomorrow night, full spoiler review, talk all into Superman. I cannot wait. This movie is, like I said, my most anticipated movie ever, and it really is the kickstart to the DCU, and it's just what I'm so excited for. So, so with that, yeah, I'm going to see it tomorrow. I just bought 2 of the Superman Funko Pops, Superman and Crypto. I'm going to buy, like I said, the popcorn bucket tomorrow. Hopefully they'll have them there. And then I'll have, and then I'm going to get the rest of the Funkos. Hopefully they'll come out with Lego sets, but, I cannot wait for this movie and everything about it. And soon it'll be that poster, the Superman poster back there. So, yeah, really, thank you all for watching. I have a big lineup of videos this week, so I am excited to release them all. But yeah, like I said, thank you guys, and we'll get back tomorrow with full Superman discussion. Bye bye.